Mortgage rates just had one of their best weeks in months, and surprisingly, it had very little to do with the Fed. Yes, as I mentioned, mortgage interest rates are down 6.59% from last week's 6.70. And the driver this week, falling oil prices. Bond market investors reacting very positively to progressing actual peace talks between the US and Iran, and ultimately lower oil prices eased a lot of the concern around future inflation. And with that, we saw personal consumption expenditures, PCE, come in yesterday, really in line with the market's expectation, which, yes, we've been in this with higher oil prices for now the better part of 2 months. And for PCE, both month over month and year over year, to come in basically exactly where the market was forecasting was a very positive sign to the markets. And ultimately, there were a ton of scary headlines that came out of those PCE reports. The market kind of detached from the headlines and focused more so on the long-term bigger picture, which is why we're seeing interest rates in the position in which they are. And again, that bodes the narrative around where, yes, hey, data is driving a piece of that narrative, but really this ongoing conflict. And if we continue to see progress towards peace, there's a lot of room in there for mortgage rates to improve at a precipitous rate. The Fed is still incredibly cautious, but the markets are beginning to believe that, hey, the pressures around inflation that has been a big talking point over the last few weeks could really see some progress later this year. And that brings us exactly to where we want to be. And really, what buyers need to be focusing on now with their agents is not focusing so much on the perfect rate, but really the trends around what's happening with market and being prepared to act accordingly. And if you're running into challenges with how to communicate this to your buyers, how to receive this as a buyer and prepare yourself for that timing, know that we're here and would love the opportunity to connect and collaborate. If you find value in this content, please like, subscribe, share, however you feel fit. The more people that get this, the better we can be in informing our client base. As always, let's make it a fantastic Friday and an even greater weekend. Thank you now.